And we finally got around to posting it on the website. We knew nothing about it, not even the date. We knew the location, which is Long Beach Boulevard, but we didn't know what cross street, we didn't know the circumstance of the accident, we knew nothing. 4 days after we posted this image on the website, we got an email from a man who brought this photo to the attention of his wife, who litigates transit accidents. Okay? Now, she recognized from reading something to do with another lawsuit in the 1990s that a blue Ford was hit by a red car, red PE car. That immediately turned a switch on in her head, and she went to a case briefing where she sent us an entire 4 pages on the official accident report of this accident. So we know the people inside the car, the date, the time, the location, the motorman, the 2 policemen, what they were doing before the accident, what they did after the accident, how much they settled for the destruction of their vehicle, and I might say for the destruction of their vehicle and their personal injury and loss, they got a whopping $25,000. Okay, you figured that out for $1,959.
It's a lot more than just the car.
Yes, they did. Well, obviously they found it in fault of the streetcar system, which is interesting because this is kind of a precedent-setting case. So when you have an accident on the blue line, which is where this is, all lawyers refer back to this incident. And here's the photo.
What is the cross street?
You have to buy the book.
Oh. I want to. Hurry up.
Okay, there.
Okay. Streets.
Okay.
Now the car was not crossing an intersection.
Yes, it was.
Where's the intersection? Right there?
Well, think about it. The streetcar is moving at 25, 30 miles an hour. It hits the car. It doesn't have tires. Something's going to skid. The car's going to be pushed forward. By the way, in the accident report, it mentioned the exact distance from the point of impact to where the car stopped. So if I was brave enough with a tape measure, I could go out and measure from the center of the intersection to the point of impact, and bang, I found it. But instead, I just used the palm trees to approximate the location where I thought it might have taken place, and waited for the streetcar, blah, blah, blah. Only thing missing is the blue Ford. Yeah. And I didn't think Metro would like it if I put something in their tracks. We left that part out.
It's a 55 Ford, I think.
That is correct, 55 Ford. It's in the report. Go to the website, you can read all about it.
You could Photoshop it in there.
My journalistic integrity forbids me to do so. This is a great photo. One of the first photos I started to research, where I kind of had this vague idea as to where this location was. Okay, judging by what it said here, and here's one of these dash signs, which is completely incorrect for where it was. I thought I kind of had an idea that it might be maybe downtown LA. All right. Well, right over here it says Parkhurst Building. Wow. So I Googled it, and bing, I come up with the Parkhurst Building, which is on the National Registry of Historic Places. Wow, it's in Santa Monica, on Main Street and Pierre Avenue. So you go back to Main Street and Pierre Avenue today, and that's what you see. There's the Parkhurst Building. You can't see the name because there's a tree. But on the website for the Parkhurst Building, you can see the front of the building. Of course, I'm not going to feature this on the website. Who cares about this part? But at least it gave me a destination as to where to go to get this photo. And it's just a foot alleyway, where, whatever goes on between these 2 buildings now. And I don't think anybody has any idea what used to happen here. And the short history of this line is, it was originally the Santa Fe Railway's entrance into Santa Monica for the so-called Port of Los Angeles. And once the harbor was developed to our south, Santa Fe gave up the line and sold it to the Pacific Electric, and they utilized it as an entrance to Inglewood, which didn't last too long, but it certainly lasted as a freight line for many years, up until about 1970. So they got their usage out there. And that line in and of itself is very interesting.
Could you go back, do you have a comparison photo on?
Oh, well, look, here, let's do that.
He got us every time.
Whoop. There.
So there was only one way that you can only go one way at a time, there was no two ways.
Well, because the line was originally built as a steam railroad. They weren't thinking about having streetcars going back and forth. In fact, the trolley way that was built by the Pacific Electric is a half a block over here. That was the Pacific Electric's main line. And that had 2 tracks in which they had quite more frequent service on that. This train here, at the most, I think it saw maybe 4 cars a day. Not a lot of service. Well, not a siding, it was a branch line. Went to Inglewood and back. It wasn't, it wasn't one of their main line operations. Okay, San Pedro. Everybody knows because of the Southern Pacific building back here. That's courthouse. That's our headquarters.
It's a courthouse.
That's the courthouse.
The courthouse. Didn't the Southern Pacific have offices in that building? Yeah. Anyway, we're all familiar with that. The ports of call is would be over that way today. And what we're focusing in on this photograph is not so much the location, but this photograph gave me an opportunity to talk about the car itself. And the reason I talk about this car is that it survives today in the form of this at the Orange Empire Railway Museum in Paris, California. The reason the car survived and all the others were torched, destroyed, thrown away, I believe in the 1950s when the Van Short line closed, was this car was converted to what they call maintenance of way, and its purpose was to grind rail or something to do with the track maintenance, and it was retrofitted for other service, and it survived up until 1948, in which this gentleman right here, Walter Abinson, bought the car from the Pacific Electric to save the car for posterity. So this car was owned for many years by Walter, and he kept it on his property. I think it was somewhere near Arlington and Slauson. He had purchased a substation from the Los Angeles Transit lines that was no longer in use. Can we say Fomer here? This guy was really into this stuff.
Yeah, he's the real thing.
He was the real thing. And I believe Mr. Adams said he never drove in his entire life. He never owned an automobile. That is correct.
It is correct,
Okay.
yes.
And when I had an opportunity where I had to photograph this car for a poster, and Mr. Abbas was there that day, and we thought it would be nice to put the two together. So there you go. A little bit of history of the what they call the 10 series car because of the first 2 numbers.
When you're going to move a car like that to another point in Los Angeles, do they flatbed it on a truck? I mean,
I would imagine. I mean, that's how they move this thing around. They flat back. By the way, was it Mr. Abinset who equipped one of the cars with tires and used to drive a modified red car down the middle of the street? Okay, it had a gasoline engine, power steering, and rubber tires, and he would operate this thing at various locations. I saw it once at the Huntington Library, and I don't remember much about it, but we have pictures of that somewhere.
That's what your photograph is.
This is in 2003. And unfortunately, Mr. Abbas is no longer with us, but his vision, saving that car, will have that for posterity, and it's quite a nice piece.
There's a car down at the San Pedro Red Line that was originally converted from a rubber tire car back.
That's Mr. Abbas' car. That's the one.
So not this car.
Not
So
this
it's in
one.
Paris.
He owns several. And the rubber tire one now operates, as you said, in San Pedro on their little shuttle line at the Portugal. which, by the way, is right here.